Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Hanny time. Hanny time. A daily look at sports from our resident historian. Your sports break during your lunch break. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. Here's Charles Hannegriff.
Well, we welcome you into Hanny Time 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Mario Jerez, Taylor Sharp with you for the next hour. Scott Rabelais will be with us here in about 15 minutes. We'll do first class, second class, no class. Can I do an early first class to the return of C.J. McCollum shooting? I come in here and Mario's got a smile from ear to ear. He didn't remember how to shoot. He never really forgot. He just got sick for a few days, right? I mean, that's all there is to it. And nice win for the Pels without Zion. And John Morant played for Memphis last night. They were 9-3 in games that he had played in this season. They had lost the other two. That means that the Pelicans have now beaten. Got to give Mario credit on this stat. I didn't remember it, although I did see the other game. Beat the Mavericks. Luka played and Zion didn't, and beat the Grizz. Morant played and Zion didn't. Not saying they should get rid of Zion, you understand, okay? I'm just pointing out that without Zion Williamson, they were able to get wins, which speaks a little bit to the depth that the Pels have amassed. So that was a good thing. LSU in the college football playoff rankings at number 6, about where we expected. The discussion is ramping up about LSU versus Tennessee. It's a complete hypothetical because LSU has to beat Georgia for this to matter, but you can already see the two sides kind of digging in, and it's not an easy decision. I don't at this point really side with either party. I don't side with Tennessee is definitely in over LSU, and I don't side with LSU is definitely in with an SEC championship. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. No, first of all, is TCU in this thing or not? If TCU is in this thing with Georgia and the winner of the Big Ten championship game, then this becomes really, really tough. Because much as LSU fans would want to, you can't erase that beating that LSU took at Tiger Stadium from Tennessee. That still counts. I think I heard one of the committee members say last night, or maybe this was a quote that I read, wasn't on the show. I'm trying to remember now exactly who it was, but said, we're talking about, these teams that are getting better at the end. And as much as that benefits LSU, I absolutely, positively hate that argument. I don't care if your best game was the last game in November or it was the second game in September. They all count, okay? Just remember this the next time that LSU may not be the beneficiary of this. Much like you'd want to, the loss to Florida State counted. The loss to Tennessee counted. Didn't matter that they happened in September and October. We play 3 months' worth of regular season. They all count, okay? So whenever I hear, over their last 5, stop it, okay? You're getting into prediction business again. Your job as a committee is to rank teams based on what they have. I got to say this every time, okay? Every time the basketball bracket comes out, every time the baseball bracket comes out, every time the football bracket. It does not matter what you think, okay? Can I get the rock? It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you think they're going to do. It matters what they did. You are what your record says you are. And LSU's got an extra loss than Tennessee. Now, is that the be-all and get-all? No, because if you beat Georgia, then that automatically, I think, becomes the best win that anybody can have. That plus the winner of the Ohio State-Michigan game. So all that counts. And I can't make a definitive statement right now on should LSU be in over Tennessee or Tennessee be in over LSU until I see LSU play Georgia. because that's a big, big deal. Still counts one, but it's a very, very important one. If LSU goes in there and somehow, blows the doors off of Georgia, do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. But it could. I don't know. If I knew for sure, I'd be on a plane. I don't even have to get on a plane anymore. Old habits die hard. Man, I'd be on a plane to Vegas right now. Why would I do that? I can just pull out my phone. Call up Mattress Mac, ask for a loan. Okay, I don't know for sure. Okay, neither does the committee. So for the moment, let's just. I know that Reese Davis has kind of dug his heels in a little bit with this, but I can't make that call until I see LSU play Georgia. I can tell you what, if it were today, Tennessee's in. Okay, if I got to tell you today, because LSU's whole basis of the argument for getting in the playoff is that they won the Southeastern Conference, which they have not done yet. Okay, so given that and the fact that LSU has one more loss to Tennessee, and they played each other, and the game was in Baton Rouge, and Tennessee won the game decisively, Tennessee's ahead of them, which is what the committee said last night. That's fine. But again, we're already digging in for what's going to happen in 3 weeks if LSU beats Georgia. If LSU beats Georgia, we'll have that conversation. And how they beat Georgia, all of that matters. Everything matters. Okay? Say like Skip Bertman. Right now, I can't tell you 100% one way or the other how it's going to turn out. I can only tell you what we have today. What we have today is Tennessee in front of LSU, which is how it should be. Brian Kelly talking about the focus this week.
17 seniors that we're honoring, 13 graduates. So last home game, recognizing our seniors, playing a really good UAB team, one of the top rushers in the country, over 1,400 yards, and then really a team that could easily be 8 or 9 win team. So they've got our attention. We're excited about sending our seniors off with the victory, and that's been really our focus.
I think I played it because this ain't the easiest week to focus. All right. You've been on a Southeastern Conference run here for the better part of 2 months, and you can say it all you want. You can harp on it, put it up on a bulletin board, blare it from the speakers in the locker room. They know the difference. They know the difference between UAB and Alabama. Okay, just because both teams are in the same state, they could not be more different. Getting the players to focus. Well, I hate games like this in November. I can tolerate them barely in September. And not for nothing, but UAB's not all that bad, okay? This is not a team that LSU, I've heard a lot of this week, is Nussmeier going to play. You better win the game, all right? You better win the game. And I think LSU will win the game. And I think they'll win. And I don't think it'll be a field goal game. I don't think that they win the game at the gun or anything. But do I think that they're going to be up 35-0 at the end of the first quarter like it was when they played Southern? I do not. So, the idea about, well, when are you going to get the backups and all that, just, hang on a little bit. You want to come out of this thing healthy, but I almost said secure victory. I don't want to say that. That's dated. That's dated material also. Kelly, with the opportunity to not talk about a Southeastern Conference opponent, also talked this morning about, it was a little bit, he had some big picture stuff, if you will. And I talked about what the realistic expectations were when he took this job.
I think you have to look at the circumstances when you come into any business or organization. Is what is the organizational health? And, the organizational health was such that it needed to be rebooted. And, that started with, new coaches, new support staff. We had, 39 scholarship players that are available for the bowl game. So it would not have been a realistic expectation. I think there are some circumstances where there is a transition where those circumstances could be realistic. But I think in this situation, that would not have been a realistic expectation.
It was 39 for the bowl game, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, wait, hang on. How many scholarship players did he actually have when he got to his first practice? Because his first practice, not the bowl practices, because there were some players that were held out of that game for redshirt purposes, and there were other players that were out of that game because of injuries. Garrett Nussmeier, for instance, didn't play in that game but was available to him. Keishon Boutte, for instance, was available to him in August but was not available for that game. So I went back and looked it up. I'm like, did he have a lot more? He didn't. He had 48 players. Or I counted them one, but I went through the whole roster. 48 players who signed, and then 6 other players that they had awarded scholarships that had originally walked on. So it was a little bit better, but not much, because I heard that argument. Hey, wait, he had more than 39. He did. Not many, though. Not very many at all. Kelly was also asked, Mario, for why the success was more attainable here than at his previous stops.
Certainly I came here with my eyes wide open. I knew that, the roster, had some talented players. Certainly there was going to be incredible support from the top all the way down, and I mean from the president through our athletic director. We were going to have the resources necessary. The resources here are better than anywhere that I've been in my career. And so those resources go to work right away in helping you develop your football program, from, nutrition to strength and conditioning to just having the support necessary from a manpower standpoint. All of those things coming together from the very beginning allow you to have this opportunity to develop and build your football team right away.
When I first started covering LSU, it might have been somewhere between the, 25th and 35th best job in the country, somewhere in that area. Now it's a top 5 job. And a lot of that has to do with the administration. When I first started covering LSU, you had an athletic director that wanted to do things on the cheap. You do not have that anymore. Your facilities were aging, and they were not being kept up at all at that time. The rest of the stuff, though, also when I started covering LSU, they were in the middle of six consecutive losing seasons, so you didn't have recent history. You didn't have good facilities. You did not have an athletic director that was willing to let the head coach spend on staff. I'll never forget when Jerry DiNardo got the job. I asked an agent, we were trying to, get a realistic list of candidates, and I talked to an agent that I knew, and I started listing names. He said, you can cross the top 4 or 5 names. You can cross those off your name right now. And I said, they wouldn't even consider it? He said, no. Yeah, I said, why wouldn't they even consider it? He says, because your athletic director can't count, meaning that he wasn't willing to pay. That was the slang for it was, your guy's not going to pay. Okay. That's no longer the case, obviously. So, the one standard was recruiting. The thing that stayed steady was you're still the only Power 5 team, and call it that back then, but you're still the only Power 5 team in the state that has very, very, very good high school football. And you also in proximity, close enough proximity to East Texas, specifically Houston, where you can recruit. All of that was in place. The rest of the stuff wasn't. Okay. Just to give you an idea, just so I can bring DiNardo back into this conversation. When DiNardo was here and off the second season, which was a 10-win season, which was a big deal at that time. LSU had been down for a long time. He got 10 wins. Notre Dame job opened up, and it was like, is Jerry DiNardo going to be a candidate for the Notre Dame job? Well, the idea at that point that Notre Dame would ever lose a coach to LSU was folly. Okay, now it's reality. You just heard why from Brian Kelly. We'll take a break. When we come back, Scott Rabelais from The Advocate joins us. This is Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time.
Most business owners today, they ask what their number one problem is. They're going to come to you with staffing, because it's a very time-consuming and oftentimes frustrating process between the interviews, the background checks, all the payroll expenses, your screening. Let Tiger Labor and Staffing take care of all of this for you. Your training, your payroll, all of your employment expenses, so you can get back to work. You won't have to worry about no-show interviews. Tiger Labor and Staffing handles all the interview processes and the onboarding. So if you need somebody for a day, a week, or even a month, you can control your labor expenses. You can increase your your flexibility. And this is particularly helpful during peak seasons, like if you need extra employees for the holidays. You can lower your employment risk. Temp to hire option is only 60 days. That's the lowest in the industry. If you're looking for work right now, Tiger Labor and Staffing welcomes skilled and unskilled labor. They'll match you with a job that fits, and there's quick turnarounds on pay. Tiger Labor and Staffing, success begins with the eye of the tiger. Go to tigerlabor.com.
Professional golfers John Peterson and JJ Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studios podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% with 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate.
On Thursday's OTB, preview a great weekend of college football and what it means for LSU's playoff hopes. Plus, is there any hope that the Saints right the ship? Off the bench, 7 to 10 a.m., 104.5 ESPN.
This is Hanny Time with Charles Hannegriff on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com. Also, you can get the Hannycast, the podcast that we do Monday through Thursday on that as well. Bringing Scott Rabley from The Advocate. Rab, good afternoon. How are you?
Charles, I'm at the PMAC. It's a little loud here. It's like a concert. Got all the kids out here to watch the Lady Tigers playing basketball against Houston Christian.
I'll be honest with you. I completely forgot that was going on at this time of the day. My bad. Got to put myself in no class today for forgetting about the women's basketball game in the middle of the day. They do that
The field trip game, yes.
Yeah, the field trip game.
Well, Charles, it's been a while since our last field trip, though. We have to say.
You know what? The last field trip I remember going on was to the World's Fair in New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
In 1984, they took us on a field trip to the World's Fair for the day. That's the last field trip I remember going on. They never took us to basketball games or anything. They took us but the World's Fair was pretty cool. I mean, at that time, I thought that was a pretty cool field trip. Rab, tell me what if you were Brian Kelly right now, obviously you'd be in a bigger tax bracket, but what I'm going to ask you is what would be your number one concern between now and the SEC championship game?
Well, I guess just a simple thing to say offense. I guess I would say offensive line because obviously they specifically, because they blocked so poorly against Arkansas and if you like Arkansas's pass rush, you're going to love Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got some guys in the middle for Georgia who are just, I say unblockable, but they're tough to block. And you're going to have to decide, as they have early in the season, to what to take away from the offense. Leaving in a tight end to chip or a back in the backfield to block like Josh Williams or something like that. So I would say offensive line, getting Garrett Dellinger back. I don't know if you want to rush him back this week or not. He was asked Monday, but he didn't really say. So it's you probably want him back for the Texas A&M game, get him back some game experience. But I think you want him back to be at your best to play Georgia because that's the biggest thing. You got to keep Jaden Daniels upright and give him a chance to make plays as he can.
Some of the things that Barry Odom did schematically that hindered LSU in this game, do you think he's unlocked something that LSU is going to see over and over again, or is this more a case of Daniels went out, had a couple of turnovers, kind of got in his head a little bit, and just didn't play with the confidence that he had been playing with?
I think it's more of the latter. I think LSU has adjusted and improved throughout the season. Offensively with Daniels, and I think they can get better. I mean, Arkansas, it seemed like they just so we're gonna try to get him on the ground. We're not gonna let him get out and freelance and get out in space, and that's it. What's troubling for LSU is they couldn't take advantage of other things. Obviously, other than Josh Williams, having a decent rushing game. So I don't think Georgia is going to sell out like that, and obviously LSU's, UAB, they're a decent team, but they're not great, and Texas A&M, they've been pretty vulnerable to the run, so I don't think LSU will see anything quite like that until they play Georgia. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. I think somebody tries something, you're going to try something else. LSU will have a new wrinkle or two for Georgia, as Georgia will for LSU. So I don't think Georgia has to be like Arkansas, like this is what we got to do, all or nothing, and try to win the game.
You have a number of times in your career been an AP voter, so you know about having to rank teams in a certain order. You've done that a lot. So right now, do you think that LSU, if they were to win out, will be ranked ahead of Tennessee?
Obviously head-to-head means a lot, but you also have to look at the whole schedule and who they beat and who they've, they both beat Alabama. Do I think LSU will be ranked ahead of Tennessee? I think they probably will if they beat Georgia because, you could have the loss to Tennessee for LSU, then you would have LSU having beaten Georgia, which Tennessee could not do. And it was practically a home game. I mean, I know the Tennessee-Georgia game was in Athens. This is practically going to be a home game for Georgia. I mean, it's going to be 3/4 Georgia fans, at least, in Atlanta. So, I think they can. I think the lure of the SEC champion having won the West and having beaten a team of the caliber of Georgia is going to get them up there. And look, it's also, Charlie, one more game that Tennessee has to play. That's the part. Tennessee beat them. Look at that. That's a game that Tennessee can't lose. It's a game that Tennessee did not do enough to qualify for, and that's going to, I think, resonate with the committee as well.
All right. As we get ready for this barn burner with UAB, what are you looking for this weekend? I've already gone on record. I hate these games, but we're going to play it anyway. They didn't call and ask me. So what are you looking for this week?
Well, it's a preliminary playoff game. I mean, you got to keep winning. I mean, like, you're already in the SEC championship game. That's fine, but LSU, still hard to believe, has bigger aspirations than that. And being number 6 in the poll, sorry, Matt Moscona, it does mean a little something that they're ranked where they are at this point with 2 weeks to go. Psychologically, as a voter, it does matter. That where you voted is going to matter at the end. And so there's a lot to play for. Obviously, the offense has to improve. I think the defense, you want to try to get far enough ahead to rest some guys. Obviously, you don't want a late catastrophic injury at this point going to A&M, which is a losable game, despite the fact that they've had a terrible season, and then going to the Georgia game. So the offense has got to get back on track, as they were other games. I think this game is a bit of an anomaly. I think they will be a lot better offensively and get back on the path that they were on before the Arkansas game.
What's the score?
Oh, what's the score? I said 31-17 last week. That was way off.
No, I'm into the women's basketball game that you're watching.
Game. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I stepped outside because it was a lot of screaming away. I felt like I was at a.
I think I'll take your word for it. They're winning. All right.
73-40.
73-40. Okay.
Yep.
Brad, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, Charles.
Thanks a lot. The only thing about this game that interests me really at all is how Jaden Daniels bounces back. That's it. I don't think there's anything wrong with his defense. I don't think that there's anything wrong with this offensive line. I think that they are, where they've been the last month, they're capable of playing at that level. I don't think there's anything wrong with the secondary. I don't think there's anything wrong with the wide receivers. For once, I don't think that there's anything drastically wrong with the special teams. I would like to see a little bit more production out of the punt return game, but it's not as drastically broken as it was earlier this year. One of our listeners earlier in the week had asked me about what's the what are the chances of seeing Keyshawn Boutte at punt returner? Probably none, but I like the idea. But be that as it may, all of those things I think are in working order. They're okay. The one thing I am drastically concerned about is Daniels, because if it's one game, okay, got off to a bad start, saw something a little bit different schematically, really cold weather, shouldn't matter, but maybe it did. So you write that one off. You say, okay, well, he'd strung together, 4 or 5 good games in a row, 2 or 3 really good games in a row. He gets back on the horse this week. Everything's fine. Nothing's broken. Everything's fixed. He has another game, and even if they win, he has another game where he goes back there and he's just holding the ball. I'm going to be a little bit concerned about that going into the A&M game and then into the SEC championship game. So for this non-conference game, which I don't care for all that much. See, you know when they should play this game or a game? Week 0. See, I could get into this game in week 0. Okay, next year, take the Grambling game, move it to week 0, get another week off. Wouldn't it be fantastic if LSU had a week off for this and 2 weeks to prepare for A&M and potentially an SEC championship game? Or if you could really get creative with your scheduling, have, stagger your breaks, kind of at a third of the season, maybe one at the beginning of October, one, near the beginning of November, or the end of October and the end of September. You could do so much creatively with this. And then, the league's going to have a new schedule for you shortly anyway, so you can't plan too far in advance, but really get into these games in week 0. In week 11, not as much. We'll take a break. We'll come back. First class, second class, no class. This is Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time.
Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. We're getting close to Thanksgiving next week. You're planning your holiday menu. Include Supreme Rice for whatever rice dishes you may have. Rice dressing's a popular staple at our house for Thanksgiving, but you might be doing a little bit of gumbo. You might do some etouffee. There's all kinds of different things you can do with Supreme Rice. And you're going to be supporting our Louisiana farmers at the same time. Not all rice is the same. Supreme Rice grown, milled, and processed in Southwest Louisiana and has been since the 1930s. So pick it up at your local AG food stores, your Walmart, your Costco's, and your Rouse's. Stop by on your way if you're going tailgating this weekend. Stop by Rouse's. We'll be there for the pregame show starting at 3 o'clock. For more information and great recipes, go to the website at supremerice.com.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
To the Prep Football Playoffs, and we get started Friday night at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview, presented by the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Catholic High and Archbishop Rummel kick off at 7, immediately followed by the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on YouTube, Your View, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time, your sports break during your lunch break with Charles Annegriff on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Hanny Time.
First class.
I want to see seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
That no man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
My life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, no class for this week. First class got to go to Justin Jefferson. Not just for the catch, okay? Yeah. And if you haven't seen the catch, please do yourself a favor, go to YouTube and watch the catch. The catch was fantastic. One of the best I've ever seen. And we could sit here and have a debate as to whether it is the greatest catch in NFL history. It's certainly in the discussion. But it was just part of what was a miraculous day. And I shouldn't say miraculous because the guy's a great player. So what he did was not, out of character for him. But the analytics, okay, I'm going to go analytics here for just a second. Mark this down because I don't do this very often, but it actually, the analytics work for me here, so I'm gonna cite them. This was Peter King had this stat this week, and this is from Gen Z Stats, okay? Justin Jefferson, he caught 10 passes for 192 yards. The percentage of him making the catch, next gen stats, not Gen Z stats, next gen stats, the chances of him, they determine, I don't know how they do this, but they determine the percentage that he would catch that pass was 28%, okay? Now, that sounds high to me because if you can stop if you stop that play with a wide angle shot of it and you see where the ball is, you see where the defender is, you see where Jefferson is, I would have, just off the top of my head, I would have given him maybe a 10% chance to catch that. An ordinary receiver, I would have given about a 1% chance to catch that. I think Jefferson's 10 times better than your average receiver. Okay, so that was on 4th and 18. But they also did this deal where they analyzed the rest of his catches. He had 10 catches on the day. 9 of the 10 catches, he had less than a 50% chance to catch the ball, according to the next generation stats, okay? They've been doing this for 7 years. There has never been a player that caught this many balls where he had less than a 50% chance to catch him. So even the analytics play out for him. Now, let me give you the ordinary stats. Justin Jefferson is 4th in the league in receptions. He is number 2 in targets, only behind Tyreek Hill. He's number 1 in yards per game. He's in the top 10 in average yards per catch. Doesn't have a ton of touchdowns, just 4, but that's more inclined to some of the things that they do in the red zone with Dalvin Cook than it is to Justin Jefferson. Point being, right now, he looks to me like the best receiver in the game. I'll hear an argument for Tyreek Hill. I'll hear an argument for Stephon Diggs. If they were healthy, I'd hear an argument for Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase, both of whom are out right now. But I think if you went in and said Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the NFL, I don't think you would get a whole lot of pushback. It's not an outlandish statement. And these analytic stats are unprecedented. I mean, again, you don't have they didn't go in and analyze Lynn Swann or, any of the great Jerry Rice or any of the great receivers in the past. I'm sure that, there's some games back there. But according to these stats, nobody's done it recently. And what he did in that game, it's a very significant game because the Bills are thought of still as the favorites to win a Super Bowl. Even though they are the 6th seed right now in the AFC, they are still the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl and even stronger betting favorite to win the AFC. So it's on the road. It's you don't make this catch, you're out. You don't have this kind of day. The Vikings, win this game in overtime. If Jefferson doesn't do everything he did on Sunday, the Vikings don't win. I'll run away this week for first class, Justin Jefferson. Second class, let me get Mario to help me out on this one a little bit because last night was probably the most that I have seen Dyson Daniels play for the Pels. Sometimes he doesn't play at all. The previous game against the Rockets, it was a DNP coach's decision. So they are I'm sorry, he had 2 points in that game. It was 2 games back. He didn't have any minutes. He is working his way towards a more playing time. The question just becomes, where does it come from? So last night, with Zion Williamson out, there was more playing time to be had. He only had 3 points, but that's not where he impressed me. First of all, he had 9 rebounds. He had the one assist he had was a length of the floor pass, which was really, really sweet. And I don't know, Mario, you watch pretty much every minute of every Pelicans game. I don't watch every minute of every game, so I've seen maybe a little bit less than you. But it seems to me that he's a little bit maybe Herb Jones light, okay? He's Herb Jones without, the playing time that Jones has amassed so far. But you look at him and you go, this guy's going to really, really be an important part of what they're doing.
Very Herb-like. Willie Green said the same thing yesterday. Like, his defense stands out. A 19-year-old is not supposed to be able to do the things that he's been doing. And the 9 rebounds was really impressive last night. The defense was great, and he's fearless on defense. You've seen him have to stick. Ja Morant did a good job. LeBron against the Lakers, although he missed the free throws at the end in that game, did a pretty good job, and he did it against Luka Doncic, too, when the Pelicans beat the Mavericks, also without Zion Williamson. So you have a lot of depth at the guard position right now, but as the season goes, you have to find a way to get this guy more minutes.
Good with a chance to be better this year and great down the line. I'm not saying that the guy is going to have an identical rookie year to what Herb Jones had. That would be asking a lot. And Jones is about, 4 years older than him? Mm-hmm. He had been a 4-year guy in college. So don't want to put too much on Daniels too soon because, like you said, he's 19 years old and he's 1 year out of the G League. But you look at him in the potential for what he can be. Good with a chance to be better this year and great down the line. No class. Okay. So I gave my ode to analytics today. Let me go back to being the old curmudgeon, the old guy that, get off my lawn. Minute 26 seconds to go in Eugene, Oregon last Saturday, and the Washington Huskies and Oregon Ducks are tied at 34. Oregon, who is without, at this particular moment, their quarterback, Bo Nix, who has been having a Heisman invitation-worthy season, never thought I'd say that, they have 4th and 1 on their own 34-yard line. There's a little bit on the line here for the Ducks, okay? They've only, at this point, they only had 1 loss. That loss was to Georgia. It was a big loss, but nobody's going to ding you too bad for losing to the Georgia Bulldogs, especially since that game was in the state of Georgia, not in Athens, but it was in Atlanta. So you're sitting pretty good for the playoffs if you can win out. What you can't do is lose. And on 4th and 1, Dan Lanning from his own 34-yard line with his Heisman candidate quarterback on the sideline decides to go for it. Yeah, you ever play pool with somebody that's really good where they look at you and you go, you miss, you lose. Okay? Well, that's it. You miss, you lose. And they missed. How you don't punt the football there and at least give yourself a chance with your quarterback. And listen, Washington was having a very good offensive day. Michael Penix is having a terrific year. Maybe Washington goes down and kicks the field goal. But I'm not just handing it to him. I don't have to put the entire game on at this point. I've heard it said, well, Brian Kelly went for it. It's completely different situations, okay? If Brian Kelly's gamble works, LSU wins the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If Oregon makes this yard, there's no guarantee they're going to score. They're still on their side of the 50. There's still a minute and a half to go. Bo Nix is still hurt. He probably comes back in the game at that point, but he's still at some point he's at least compromised, and you decide to go for it. You can talk analytics or whatever. I heard Lanning's explanation. I still don't understand it. I thought this was one of the most consequential calls of the college football season. This was a team that had a legitimate chance to go to the playoff. And you can keep playing here. You don't have to take this gigantic risk at that point in the game. In my head, I'm sorry, the percentages of Oregon winning the game are greater if they punt there. I'm not a coach. Dan Lanning has, accomplished to this point in his life, being able to get the Oregon head coaching job, which is, it's a good job. So I'm not going to tell you I know more about football than Dan Lanning. I'm not going to tell you that, I know more than, all of the coaches out there. But this just seemed like a really dumb decision to me. And, if they'd have made it, okay, I guess. But that just seemed like the wrong place with so much on the line for Oregon, who is now out of the conversation for the college football playoffs. So, sorry, Danny, you got to be in no class. Take a break here. Come back to some of your questions out of the chat. This is Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time.
Big Mike's with their music lineup coming up this week. Tomorrow night, it's Chris Allen. On Friday, it's the Chris LeBlanc Band. And Saturday for LSU and UAB, the late start DJ Clarence will be providing the entertainment, so you can listen while you watch. Sunday for Saints football and NFL action, happy hour prices all day long. Also, join Big Mike's for Thanksgiving. They're opening at 6 p.m. And live music by Byron Bujo. That's on Thanksgiving night. There'll be football on as well at Big Mike's on Thanksgiving. So they will be opening at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. Big Mike's with daily lunch specials and open late after high school football as we're into the playoffs now on Aspen in Denham Springs. Big Mike's were kind of a big deal.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 60 months on new 2022 Ford F-150s. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
All right, let's say ah.
Join us for a Wednesday edition of Hunt and Hill. J.D. Pickell of On3 Sports talking college football. Kendall Rogers on fall baseball. And those SEC power rankings are coming. 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time with Charles Hannegriff on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There's some submissions for first, second, and no out of the chat. First class to Maction last night had a length of the field drive with less than a minute to go. Score with 9 seconds to go. That was in the Toledo Bowling Green game. Won the Glass Bowl. Is that nicer than the Magnolia Trophy, or would you rather have a boot or a glass bowl? I think I'd rather have about anything than that boot. That boot is heavy and it is unattractive. No, I like the MAC games in the middle of the week at this point in the season. Did I see this right that Kusa has also signed a media deal with ESPN to do some Wednesday games? Is that, I don't know if that's next year or in 2 years, but hey, listen, you're going to give me midweek football. I don't want my team to play in it, but I want a team to play in it because I can watch football every night. I'm fine, completely fine with that. No class to okay, you're going to get a lot of this. No class to the hotel in Atlanta that did not honor the price we locked in on Sunday night and called us on Monday to say that the room rate went to $700 a night. Really nice hotel, I guess. We put our travel plans together earlier in the week, and all I can tell you is that it was significantly more expensive than it was the last time we went. What's happened between the last time LSU went to Atlanta and now? Oh, that's right, the pandemic thing. Yes, everything costs more now. Did anybody notice that? Is it just me? You go to the grocery store and things cost more. You go to fill up your vehicle and things cost more. You get your bills in the money. Not just a little bit more, a lot more. Been noticing that recently. I don't know if anybody else has. I don't. This is not really a first class, no class, but it says Texas A&M. Actually, they call them Texas 4-8. Will give LSU hell and throw their best punch. This is going to be the discussion all week. Next week is Texas A&M. They will say this all week, which is, this is our bowl game. This is our chance to end the season on a good note. This is a chance to spoil LSU's chance at the playoff and all that stuff. Whether they actually do that or not, whether they go out there and play with an inspired effort, I'm not so sure. Generally, you get one of two things in a game like this. You either get a team that comes out there and plays like, their lives depend on it. Sometimes you even see this with, an interim coach with one game to go. LSU did it when Hal Hunter came out and took over for the last game of the 99 season, and LSU had a terrible year. But the atmosphere had gotten a little bit toxic, and when Hunter took over for the last game, LSU went out and blew the doors off of Arkansas. And that was not a good LSU team. And Arkansas, as I remember, was decent. And Rohan played that day, and he hadn't been playing in the games before that. And LSU just blew him out. That was with an interim coach. You don't have an interim coach here. You have a coach that, can we use the word embattled? Is that in trouble? Leaking? I don't know what you want to call it. So you can either have them go out there and play inspired and say, listen, this is our bowl game, or you can have them say, look, we don't want to be here. We're done with this. And since I brought up the Arkansas game where LSU played really, really well in the 99 season, I will point out also the 92 season, which was one of the most embarrassing LSU Arkansas games ever. because in 1992 LSU finished 2-9, and they went up to Arkansas, and it was a night game, and it was a late afternoon game, but it was dark by the time it was over, and LSU was getting drilled, and the players were on the sideline laughing it up. I mean, the post game was not pleasant. That I wasn't doing post game at that time, but I was listening to it, and needless to say, getting your ass handed to you by whatever it was. I think they lost by 3 or 4 touchdowns, and hamming it up on the sideline. That didn't set very well. So you could see it either way. I don't know. I thought A&M was still playing hard on Saturday night against Auburn. They didn't play well, but I thought they played hard. I suspect that it's more likely that they will play hard against LSU than they would just go out and say, well, you know what, season's over. We're ready to be out of here. The real question is, what kind of shirts are they going to print? Shirts, cups, rings, any of that stuff? Not sure. All right, stay tuned for Hunt and Hill. Hilly got an announcement to make. See on Instagram? Did I see that? See that right, Mario?
Yeah, our man might be playing football again. I guess find out in the next show.
Okay. Well, now you got to stick around. Can I make it? Can I make it down the hall to where I can listen? Outside. I want to hear what he's got to say. Guess I could just ask him when he walks in, right?
Good idea.
Stay tuned for Hunt and Hill. This has been Hanny Time, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hanny Time.
Acura and Infinity pre-owned. Been buying my vehicles there for a very long time. When you go to the certified lot, you're going to get a lot of things that are going to make it really attractive for your car buying opportunities here. Up to a 6-year unlimited mileage warranty, complimentary first-year basic maintenance, and all of these vehicles on the pre-owned lot, the certified pre-owned lot, are going to go through a 167-point inspection to make sure they are up to code. You get a free 3-month trial subscription to satellite radio. Love the emergency roadside assistance feature. Had to use this a few weeks ago and had a little bit of transmission problems, so it's invaluable to you. Complimentary service courtesy vehicle is another perk that I very much enjoy, because it means when you take your vehicle in for service, you don't have to worry about arranging transportation or sitting around to wait for it. Transparency in pricing and family atmosphere. It's all at Acura and Infinity of Baton Rouge.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments.